Hi, my name is Stefan Lyford, and you're watching the uh, next installment of Migraine International Patients Perspective. With me today is Lynn. She's one of our migraine buddy group members, and she's joining me today to discuss the uh, migraine emergency kits. This was a very popular post that we did um, probably a year back, and many of the members of our Migraine Buddy group contributed to come up with quite an extensive list of items to put on an emergency kit list that migraine sufferers should keep with them, when you're out traveling, when you are on the road or away from your home, things that you might want to have with you if you are in case you get a migraine when you're away from home. How are you today, Lynn?
I'm actually doing really well today. Thank you.
So when I made this list, I had some things that I myself would keep with me. I do a lot of driving for work, and there were a couple of times when I was away from home, and I had some severe migraines come up, and I found that being away from home, I needed to have certain things with me. Um, and the first thing that I found was I needed caffeine. I mean, reach for a Coke because I didn't have the Tylenol or the Excedrin or whatever the abortive medication was. I didn't have that ready right there, and that tells you something. I got to have that too. That's something that needs to be in the emergency kit. But you know, I needed to find a drive-through or a convenience store to go grab a Coke. So, those are one of the things that I needed to grab and get in my emergency kit, because if I already had that in my emergency kit, I wouldn't need to look for it. So that's one of the first things. Um, and then we started talking. Then we talk about um, Excedrin or ibuprofen and things like that. Now, when I go back to the Coca-Cola, what I got to warn people about is when we use caffeine, it does risk rebound headaches, and so does Excedrin, because Excedrin has caffeine in it. So
And something else to keep in mind with the Coca-Cola, not everybody, I can't have caffeine at all. And between my heart and some people can't have the caffeine at all. And so it doesn't have to be Coca-Cola. If you have a caffeine issue, there's, maybe some ginger ale or something else that is going to for me, it's Verner's is my first go-to. And while it's not going to have the caffeine effect on it, it does help settle the stomach. It kind of helps just at least help me be able to then get to something else. And, it helps that, that kind of slide into the next thing.
Very good. Good point. Now, since you brought up the stomach, there's always the ready, the Pepto-Bismol or generic versions of such. And some people that don't really get into Pepto-Bismol, there's dependable Alka-Seltzer. So it depends on your body and what your body tolerates. And then we have the antacids, the Tums. So, whatever it is that works for you as far as settling your stomach, those are things you can put in your emergency kit. Now, you talk about people that can't handle beverages like Coke or Verner's or whatever. Now, the other purpose for drinking things like that is to hydrate. Now, the one thing that a lot of people are bad at is hydrating. So this is the other thing you got to have in your emergency kit. is a couple of bottles of water, at least one. But when you've got a migraine attack, get a bottle of water out and down the whole thing. You've got to get your body hydrated, because the hydration can give you some relief.
I will also carry, for the hydration, I use body armor and liquid IV.
Okay.
I have problems, and I know other people do too, because of migraines. I cannot use any artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no artificial sweeteners, nothing artificial. And so I have to be very careful with the ingredients in anything. And so for my stomach relief, I use plain candied ginger. It's plain sugar and ginger, and I keep a baggie of those with me in my kit, and I can munch on them, or mint, all natural mint candies. And then so the liquid IV is a powder, and you can dump, just drop it into that water. It's great because it doesn't have to be refrigerated. It lasts forever in your kit. You don't worry about the heat of the car or something like that. I love that. I also keep it in my because I'm in hurricane territory, I keep it in my go bag as well. And so those are great because they're small, compact. You can stuff it in a purse, and you can add it to any bottle of water, and then you'll have your electrolytes with that as well.
Very good. You also had another use for plastic bags too.
Yes, plastic bags. My sister taught me this a long time ago. Ziploc bags are lifesavers for so many things, besides keeping all your stuff together. But I also keep a gallon Ziploc bag in each pocket of the doors of my car. And therefore, if I do have to vomit at some point, and we all know the car makes the migraines worse. And so this has happened to me several times, and I have the gallon Ziploc bags in the car. And therefore, if I have to vomit, I can keep it all in one place and zipper it closed. And I'm not worried about trying to clean up the car 2 days later when I'm finally feeling better.
Well, that was not on our original emergency kit list. The list can be found on the Migraine Buddy on the Migraine Buddy Facebook page, just by searching emergency kit. But that needs to be added to our list. The other thing that most of us have talked about is, when we're at home, we can readily go to the freezer and get an ice pack. Now, when you're on the road, that's not very easy to do, is grab an ice pack. Now, it's been suggested to me by several people that you can get those emergency ice packs that you can break them and they get cold, real freezy cold or whatever. Those are a good suggestion. I'm not sure the cost of those, and I'm not sure exactly where you get them. I guess pharmacies, Walmart, places like that. But I guess I'm a little old school. I always have several of these. These are basically old school ice bags. Okay. So you can keep one of these in your emergency kit and go to a convenience store or a fast food restaurant, and you can simply fill it with ice, and you've got your ice pack pretty quick. So go ahead.
I love those, because those will also last longer when packed properly and things. Those will, the ice lasts longer, all of that. And I'm with you. I have lots of them that we keep around the house and in the car. And they can be found inexpensively. The single-use ones can be several dollars and up to $10 a piece. Normally they're in the $3 to $5 a piece range in whatever your first aid area is in a store. And so that's nice for a real serious emergency, but that gets costly if, like we do, we're on the road for our jobs so much that can get costly if you have to do that.
Yes. And this is probably 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably been used maybe 20, 30 times. And I've never had to pay for ice to put in it. It's, and they stay cold longer.
They do.
Even when the ice is almost gone, it's still ice cold, and it forms to whatever part of your head you want to put it on. So
Yes.
now the other thing is, let's talk about when you're having your migraine and you just want to shut out the light, whether you're at work at your desk or in the car. You maybe you want to pull over to the side or in a parking lot, or if you're in an office and you shut off the light. I've started using, and I know we've seen advertisements posted on our page, but you have the red lenses. Now, some of them are called Theraspecs, and there's other brand names out there. These are $12.99 at the gas station. And when I put these on, you immediately feel your eyes relax. Okay. And these are just red lenses. These aren't, expensive $129, supposed medical lenses. Okay. Now, I have not tried these when I have a migraine, but I have tried these when I'm driving during the day, sunshine, cloudy, whatever. I put them on and it just makes my eyes relax. So
That's a huge deal. Yes.
I haven't had a migraine while wearing these, but they do relax my eyes during the day. Now, the other thing is, some people have suggested the sleeping mask, the with the elastic that goes around and it blacks out your eyes. Some people have those in their emergency kits to shut out the light. And then
I have a wide brimmed floppy hat that when if we're going out to a park or something like that, I always wear it anyway, just for protection and for my eyes. But the way it's designed, I picked it up at Costco. It was $14. And the way it's designed, it's a full around hat, but I can kind of angle the flap a bit. And that because I'm so sensitive to what's on my head and even my glasses, I'm careful with when I buy new glasses, how they fit on my face. And so it helps with me. I can put that on and it just kind of shades and it takes that glare off just enough. And it's not as good as going to be a pair of glasses. It's not going to be that effective, but it is, if you don't have that and you've got some sort of hat that can help cover the eyes and take that glare off, that's at least one step further.
Okay. So a couple of other things just to quickly go down the list. I have a neck pillow that some people have suggested. Don't think it'll fit in my emergency kit. Essential oils, aromatherapy, migraine sticks. It's like a vasodilator. Some people use CBD products, salty snacks, earplugs for noise sensitivity, lip balm for dry lips. And the last thing I have on my list, which I think is one of the most important, is that those of us that have severe migraines, we should always have a list of emergency phone numbers for immediate family, spouses, parents, doctors, neurologists, preferred hospitals, a list of medicines and allergies, our DNR preferences, and for good measure, a HIPAA release for our spouse or significant other. So is there something you can add to this?
I just think that I agree. I just want to say I agree with you that that's one of the most important things, is that way if something happens and you're non-communicative, then there's somebody can see what you need. And the other thing with this is to let your spouse or significant other, or maybe people who you have a lot of contact with during the day, know about your emergency kit. and know what's in it and things to that nature. The same with at home, our people in our families know, our rescue meds, and they all, you teach them and you educate them about that. And I think it's also important to educate them. This is my, what's there and what you have. And just in case, we never know. I've had them where I have been completely incapacitated, and my significant other at the time had to take over and be my, take care of me. And we were out in the middle of somewhere else. And so having all of that information, what if he hadn't been there? Somebody else would have had to have taken care of me.
Exactly. So I appreciate you being on with me today. This will be released almost immediately. And, between Migraine Buddy and Migraine International Patients Perspective, we hope people get something out of this video. We come on every Wednesday at 1:00 p.m. And this is our emergency kit. It's a cooler that Simona had made and sent me some of them. It's got my little avatar. I don't know, do I look like the guy on the avatar?
Perfect impression.
But that's a Migraine Buddy Group mini cooler, and it makes a perfect emergency kit for some of your smaller items. But tune in next time. I had our next topic, but well, I'll put the next topic in the comments. I lost track of it, so I'll do better next time. But this has been Migraine International Patients Perspective. My name's Stephen Lyford, and Lynn has been with me today. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.